on P-Day, I was playing basketball, and I dislocated my kneecap. So I think I didn't actually really know that I dislocated it. I just fell and it hurt really bad. We didn't know that I dislocated it until the MRI. But I didn't want to call the mission president. So I waited 3.5 weeks to call the mission president until my companion convinced me to. So I kept walking, we kept working, and my knee hurt really, really bad. But I did not want to call the mission president that I had messed up my knee. Let alone on a P-Day where I finally bought a basketball. We played it and I messed it up. But finally I called him, talked to his wife, they sent me to a couple doctors. I got an MRI done in Brazil. And all of this takes forever in Brazil to get doctor appointments, to get an MRI, to get the results back. The first doctor there, he told me that I would probably need surgery, that my knee was really bad. And then we talked to one of the doctors from the church, and they, for the first part, they told me that I couldn't walk very much. I couldn't walk more than 5 kilometers a day. Like I talked about earlier, that area was ridiculously large, with ridiculous amount of hills. So it inhibited us quite a bit, the amount of what we could work. So that was really hard for me. But I really wanted to work. I wanted to go find new investigators. I wanted to help people, but I couldn't. So I remember spending so much time on one knee, because I couldn't kneel on both, praying to figure out what I could do. Because at this point in time, my companion had also gotten hurt. He had messed up his rib, so he wasn't doing too well either. So I remember just praying, like, Heavenly Father, what can we do to help these people? What can we do in this area if we can barely walk around to help? We were trying to do everything. I remember at a district meeting, the zone leaders came, and they looked at us and said, "You guys are broken. You don't have to kill yourselves to do the work." And eventually my companion, he ended up going home with his problem. And the mission president, I talked to him, because I only had 3 months left on my mission at this point in time. And the mission president, he had talked to the church doctor who looked at my MRI results, and he asked him, like, what can we do to help him here in the mission? And the doctor told him nothing. In the mission, there was nothing that they could do, that by all rights I should be going home. And the mission president decided that he wanted to put me in the mission office instead. He told me, "So, Elder Staten, you should be home right now, but I'm letting you stay. I'm letting you stay because I feel that you need to do something more in the mission office." So that's when I was transferred to Maceió. So I went to Maceió in the area called Faro, which is the lighthouse. And I was there for 3 months. I was in the mission office. I was in a trio with the finance, because in Brazil, most missions have a financial secretary and an executive secretary. Our executive deals with cell phones, house materials, and things financial with money. And I was put as like the third secretary to help them out and to deal with materials. Which actually, when I got there, I wasn't too happy, because I was like, well, what am I doing here? But the life of a secretary, sometimes there'll be weeks when it's crazy, when you don't have time to go work at night. They're like weeks such as weeks of transfers. But my mission president, he would always put MLC, the Mission Leadership Conference, the same week as transfer week. So we would have crazy days because we have to help everybody out of the bus stop, to get transfers, to get in their new areas, and that same day the new missionaries would show up and we had to have to help them. So the day of transfers, we would leave the house at about 5 o'clock in the morning and we get home at 10:30 at night. This is on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we had to buy everyone's bus tickets for MLC on Thursday. And on Thursday, we had to give all the trainings, prepare the entire meeting. Not all the training, we had to give trainings, prepare lunch and all the meetings and everything. So those weeks, we weren't able to work very much in our area. But there were other weeks when it was really slow. When we were in the office until 5 or 6 because we had to be, because church headquarters could call and we would have to do something. But then we would go out and we'd work in our area. I really learned a lot in that area, because I was in, what about the area itself? We had like a couple neighborhoods that were really nice. Or really nice apartment buildings that were some of the nicest areas I'd been to in Brazil. with members that were really well off, people that were really well off. We were in a pretty nice office building. But then we also had a slum on the side that you could stand down in the slum and you could see the really, really nice apartment buildings right up above. So it was really interesting to see the contrast of this slum up to there. We'd work as much as we could when we could, and so we would help that ward.